The PlayStation 4 has already had a pretty good year in 2016, but the rest of the year is absolutely staggering. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 10 upcoming PS4 exclusives for the rest of 2016 that you need to play. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Nioh. Nioh is the latest game coming from developers Team Ninja, and it's a game that has been in development for over a decade. Originally planned for a 2006 release for the PlayStation 3, things obviously went wrong, but last year Nioh was re-revealed as a PlayStation 4 exclusive. In the game, you play as William, a samurai during the Warring States period in 16th century Japan. The gameplay looks very stylish, resembling something like Dark Souls. Nioh is looking to be a quality samurai game, which is something we haven't seen in a very long time. The game releases later this year. Number 9, RIG's Mechanized Combat League. The PlayStation VR is looking to be a promising piece of tech, but for it to be a success, we are going to need good software. RIG's Mechanized Combat League is shaping up to be one of the most promising games on PSVR. The game is a mech-based first-person arena shooter that pits teams of pilots against one another. Playing a shooter with virtual reality is going to require a bit of adjustment, but RIG's is looking to be one of the premier games on PSVR, and you definitely want to keep this on your radar.
Crowd goes wild. He's through on goal. Denied. Great defense. 60 seconds left. Scores are tied.
Number 8, NIER AUTOMATA. NIER was one of the most unique RPGs on the PlayStation 3. Unfortunately, the game did have some issues and it never reached a high level of commercial success. It was one of the last games I was expecting a follow-up to, but lo and behold, we are getting one in the form of NIER AUTOMATA. Being developed by Platinum Games, NIER AUTOMATA is considered to be a spiritual successor to the original, so if you never played the first game, it's probably not going to hinder your experience with this one. One of the major issues with NIER was its gameplay, but I wouldn't expect that to be a problem with AUTOMATA since Platinum Games are developing it. I do, however, expect the game to retain its excellent soundtrack and amazing aesthetics. NIER AUTOMATA releases later this year. Number 7, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. When you talk about Square Enix JRPGs, the one that obviously comes to everyone's mind is Final Fantasy. But Star Ocean has always been a very consistent series. The first 3 games were all very good, and while the 4th game did have some issues with its storytelling, it was still a very competent JRPG. Now, after 7 years since the last game, we have Star Ocean 5, dubbed Integrity and Faithlessness. The gameplay still features the fast-paced action battle system, which is great, and the storytelling is something that has been worked on. Star Ocean 4 had a lot of long-winded cutscenes that got pretty boring, but I don't expect that to be the case with Integrity and Faithlessness. Star Ocean 5 is almost here as it's set for a June 28th release. Number 6, Gran Turismo Sport. Another one of the premier PlayStation VR games and probably the biggest marquee title on the platform is Gran Turismo Sport. Now, while this game does have a heavy emphasis on VR, it will not be a VR exclusive title, so for all of you GT fans, you can still play this game the traditional way. It should also be noted that Sony and Polyphony Digital do not consider Gran Turismo Sport to be Gran Turismo 7, rather it's a standalone entry. As far as the VR elements go, series creator Kazunori Yamauchi described it as very good and very natural. Gran Turismo Sport is expected to release this year and a beta is planned for the near future. Number 5, The Last Guardian. The Last Guardian is a game people have been waiting a long time for. The game was announced back at E3 of 2009 for the PlayStation 3, and for a long time we hadn't heard anything about the game. But finally, the game was shown off again at E3 last year as a PlayStation 4 title. The Last Guardian is being developed by famed developers Team Ico. They developed Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, 2 of the best PlayStation 2 games of all time. At this point, I don't know if The Last Guardian is going to live up to the caliber of the previous 2 titles. Whenever a game has been in development for this long, you have to be a bit hesitant about it. However, I still expect Team Ico to deliver something of quality when The Last Guardian releases later this year. Number 4, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is being developed by a very small team over at Hello Games. This is another game we've been waiting quite a while for. It was announced back in 2013. And instantly, people could tell that No Man's Sky was shaping up to be something special. The game is a first-person open universe survival game. You play as an explorer and you travel through various procedurally generated planets, leading to the game having a ridiculous amount of content. However, the game does have a purpose: to reach the center of the galaxy. How you do it is up to you. No Man's Sky is one of the most ambitious games of all time. Who knows if it will live up to the hype? But this is one you need to keep your eye on. No Man's Sky finally releases on June 21st. Number 3, Persona 5. For a long time, Persona has been a JRPG series that, while very good, has always had a very small fan base compared to the juggernaut that is Final Fantasy. However, over the last half-decade or so, the Final Fantasy games have declined in quality, and it seems like Persona is the JRPG that people have gravitated towards. And now, for the first time in nearly 8 years, we're getting a brand new entry into the series. Persona 5 will follow the same general premise of the previous games, in that you're a transfer high school student. Things happen and suddenly it's a dungeon exploring RPG. But you still have to live your school life, going to classes, socializing, joining clubs, etc. While to someone that has never played Persona, the concept might sound absolutely ridiculous, but Persona blends those two elements so well and makes the game diverse and filled with unique content. With Persona 5, it looks like the game will also be a bit darker than previous entries. And while many JRPG fans might have their eyes on Final Fantasy 15 this year, don't forget about Persona 5. It has just as much potential and it releases later this year. Number 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is being developed by Guerrilla Games, one of Sony's most talented studios. They're best known for the first-person shooter series Killzone. As you can probably tell, Horizon Zero Dawn is nothing like Killzone. Instead of sticking to their comfort zone, Guerrilla Games opted to try something completely different with Horizon Zero Dawn. The game is an open-world third-person action RPG featuring mech-like dinosaurs. You gotta give them credit for originality if nothing else. Horizon Zero Dawn is also post-apocalyptic, but unlike games such as Fallout, Horizon is very colorful in world design. The game is shaping up to be the premier PS4 exclusive this fall, and it's one that can develop into one of PlayStation's biggest franchises.
Here we go! Oh, someone's angry! Gotta get under it.
Finally, number 1, is it really a shock? Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Naughty Dog has been one of the most consistently great developers over the last decade plus. From Crash, to Jack, to Uncharted, to Last of Us, now back to Uncharted, it's almost ridiculous in how many amazing games Naughty Dog has put out. Now they are closing the book on one of the most popular video game characters ever in Nathan Drake. It's bittersweet. While on one hand it's sad to see Drake's story finally come to an end, we know Naughty Dog will leave it on a high note. Expect an exhilarating single-player mode from start to finish, and also expect a pretty good multiplayer mode. The beta was quite good, and considering the multiplayer is running at 60 FPS, that makes it all the better. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End has Game of the Year written all over it, and I expect it to deliver and then some when it releases on May 10th.
Don't shoot at me!
So that wraps up 10 upcoming PS4 exclusives of the rest of 2016 that you must play. What do you think? Did I miss a game? Do you think I overrated a game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.